To the cloud. There it is.
You got it. Very good. Okay, so usually I have my iPad and then I also have my desktop computer, but I'm at home, so I'm just on my iPad. So whenever I pull up your feedback on my screen, I'm not gonna be able to see your face for a bit while I give the feedback, but just chime in at any time, absolutely. Okay, so just for the recording and the record, I'm Dr. Amy Dickey, and here we are for your post-conference on observation number 3. If you'll just state your name.
Aaron Lewis.
All right, and I praise you for being the very first one to do observation 3, have it turned in, do your post conference. Nice job. Okay, so I'm going to go to my screen where I have your feedback. I did submit this in Canvas earlier so that you could also have access.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, I did download that. Technology is fun for everyone.
Right.
Not that. Let me just go to downloads. Then I'll know what I'm doing. I swear I will. There we go. Okie dokie. So, did you find access to it as well?
Yes, I did.
Okay, wonderful. So, first of all, let's start by you telling me how do you feel like observation 3 went?
Um, I feel like it wasn't my best lesson, but the intent is there. Like it's something that I probably need to brush up on, um, my skills and knowledge, but I could definitely want to make sure I continue with that lesson. Usually, I've done the if I've done it a few times to where I've kind of mastered it a little bit better, but that was my first time doing that lesson. So it was a little choppy. Um and then another class that I selected, it was a little tougher class. I did intentionally pick fifth grade since we talked about our last in our last post conference. But overall, like I feel like it's a lesson with great content. I will say
Mhm.
that. But it's something that I kind of want to fine tune so I can make sure I'm delivering it the best that I can.
Okay, okay. Um, I feel like I definitely see that reflection and Um, I think you're being a little hard on yourself because I think that it did go well. I think it was a valuable lesson. I do think I agree with you about when I reteach the same thing, to various classes again and again, I get better each time. So I'm always like, man, the last visitor that
Yes.
got that lesson, they got the best one. But
Hmm.
the cool thing about that is, like you said, you might revisit this same lesson throughout the year, just change it up a tiny bit. But that's good for the kiddos because even though, yeah, they kind of had an idea like how they did it the first time, but when you're redoing it, they're really gonna take it on and make it like internalize it so they're able to do this task on their own. So,
Right.
um, all right, so now what I'll do, I'll just scroll through the feedback form. I'll tell you which standard I'm discussing. I'll talk to you about my comments. If you have anything to add, clarify, ask, or whatever, you just chime in whenever, okay?
Okay.
All right, so for standard number 1, learner-centered teaching and learning, all great marks there. I said by doing this hands-on activity to make students more comfortable in the nonfiction section, you're creating a learning environment in which uniqueness of interests are recognized. By having students select a nonfiction as one of their books, you're encouraging the reading of both fiction and nonfiction. I always think this is a really important thing to walk them through the section to show them how do we even find books in this section by having them look at those front covers, by having them, like you were having them, sort it, because it makes it meaningful to them, it's hands-on to them, and it's like not such a scary section to try to tackle on your own anymore. Whereas I feel like some kids, if the book is not facing out in the nonfiction section, or it's not like, okay, their main topic of football or their main topic of sharks or whatever, if they can explore it on their own, then maybe they're going to get some new things in their hands. So I do think it's a really good lesson for you to do. And yes, sorry. Okay, so standard number 2, learner-centered library program leadership and management. I just circled a couple of things in the actual wording that I rated you on. All good marks here as well. Even though you were not able to put technology in the students' hands, which that was not your fault it was used otherwise. You had an engaging and effective hands-on activity. It caused them to synthesize information from a variety of sources. Still, you had effective pre-planning, materials were ready, your time management was good. And even though I would have liked them to be able to use the online search system since you want them to do that on their own, I really liked the hands-on activity that you had for them. So tell me, how would it have looked different if you were going to have them use the technology? What were you going to do a little bit differently?
So just that little kind of bit of time at the end, I would have shown them the placement of the iPads, let them know that they are already open. You don't have to click anything in the because I downloaded a shortcut on the desk on not the desktop on the home screen. So
Mhm.
all I would have to do is leave it open and turn off the automatic shut off and then show them like, hey, this is exactly what we used before. All you have to do is type and search in the name. So let's say you're interested in cats, like one of the girls like cats, type in
Mhm.
cats, and then you can see where the books are and find them. So kind of help guide them to use it to find their nonfiction book so they can
Mhm.
get used to using it, throughout the rest of the year.
Okay, very good. Yeah, so I hope you are able to do that when the iPads aren't in use otherwise. Question, are they going to carry the iPad with them to that section or they write it down on a little paper?
No. So that's the other thing. I need to get my little paper slips. I want to have it written down on a piece of paper for them to take it with them,
Okay,
not
yeah.
not take the iPad. Yes, thank you.
That's what we do in my library as well. I bought a box of those short little golf pencils,
Yes.
and then I used to order the paper. It was almost like Post-it note size, but nowadays I just ask one of my helpers to chop up some extra paper we have in the back. I don't care what color it is. I'm like, any scrap paper, let's cut that into little squares. They can use that. So, but yeah, it's good to just have everything ready whenever you do show them how to use it. But it could be a two-step process. One time it's just we're just using these iPads, keeping them where they are, just you searching,
Yeah.
but having the paper ready for them to write and know what to write, like the call number. But do you also want the title or a part of the title or whatever, like
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Okay, for sure.
All right. So standard number three, learner-centered technology and information access. You use technology to guide each lesson as needed. So like even though, whoops, sorry, I hit the iPad. Even though you weren't able to use the device as you wanted for this lesson, you still, as the instructor, used technology to guide your lesson. You model ethical use of print and technology resources. You dabble in reference and research techniques here as you help students decide what informational texts are about and which section they would be found in. And then I've caught glimpses of your library collection each week. I see a little bit of something for everyone. I love how you encourage them to find nonfiction titles. You gave them guidance to do so, because as I already said, it can be a daunting section to explore if you're not used to it, if you're not comfortable with it. But I also love that it was some of them were telling you topics meaningful to them, like the girl who liked cats. But I think you had more than one cat lover in there too.
Yeah.
Standard number four, learner-centered library environment. Your library space is multi-use. We've talked about this in your past observations. It has the set teaching area, the checkout area, work area, and shelving. I like how you can address the students like when you're at the checkout desk, you still like they're within range for you to easily
Mhm.
say like you brought your books, go check out, or hey, you're missing this, come here, let's talk about it, or whatever. It's a safe, secure, and age-appropriate environment. It's open for classes and individual use. You're flexible with your scheduling as well as visitors, as I feel like it should be. I feel like some libraries that I see, more so not where my student is the librarian of record, but where they're visiting, and it's kind of like a closed off space. Like they don't want outsiders coming in when they're doing this or that, which there is a time and a place where you don't want to be interrupted, but I think it's always nice when the library can be a flexible space.
Yeah.
Standard number five, learner-centered connections to the community. My comments are you're mindful of your visitors, you adjust your
I'm
language.
sorry.
That's okay. Are
Yeah.
you still with
Yes,
me?
I'm here.
Okay,
Yes.
very good. You're mindful of your visitors. You adjust your language feedback, behavior management as needed. I have a mental note of that, like through the grade levels, you adjust it as needed. Like these were bigger kids, and I know how sometimes you have to be a little more firm with them.
Mhm.
Sometimes you have to not like be sarcastic, but kind of play around a little bit, but you have to know your limits too, or they might walk all over you.
Yeah.
And you did redirect a couple of students as needed, um, and I feel like it was in place appropriately. When you have one-on-one interactions with your students at your circulation desk, you're patient, you offer feedback that helps your students find what they want, remember what they have missing or late, and check out their books. You offer reminders and countdowns or time remaining as students move about your library. You give specific wording and language to get students on task and successful instead of just doing it for them. Like when they were trying to scan their own books and it wasn't coming up right, you were like, remember, it's the barcode that says Malala, because they were probably scanning the ISBN or whatever like that. You would also say, okay, you need to do this or you need to click this, but you didn't just take over for them. You quickly showed them how to do it. So maybe in the future they could take it on themselves or they're going to remember, oh, yeah, she said this. So I think that that was effective. Standard number 6, learner-centered information science and librarianship. You understand that the library is a place for many happenings, such as read-alouds, checkouts, informational or nonfiction explorations, flexible use for visitors and volunteers. You demonstrate ethical behavior in many contexts. You work collaboratively with the school personnel, practicum supervisor, and other level librarians as needed. And for professional aspects, all good marks here. I did go over into the exceeds on a few things that I feel like applied to you. I did put a little asterisks, and I'll talk about that in a moment. For the comments, you act professionally and respectfully. You're prepared for each observation, and you self-reflect well. You do have a lot on your plate, but your assignment submissions on Canvas not always, no. Often being late is something I'd like for you to be mindful of moving forward in your career. So how this could translate to your job or future projects is just to really organize your calendar, to schedule to meet your due dates and your deadlines. So for me, I have a master calendar which has, whenever things are coming up, whether it's a due date or schedule changes or whatever. But I also need sticky notes and phone alarm reminders. Otherwise, something will slip off my plate or something will be like, oh, I forgot about that. So I need all three, but it's whatever best keeps you organized. But I know we've already talked about this and you have mentioned, everything that you're working with and things like that. So I'm understanding, but that's why I put the asterisk, just so you can just be mindful of it. Like, hey, when I have a lot on my plate, sometimes things, get turned in late or things get missed or whatever. So just so that you could work on that.
Okay.
Also knowing that sometimes turning in something is better than nothing, especially if it's available to be revised in the future. So for our course, you could turn it in, you could have revised it in the future. But a lot of times, with your librarian work at your school and things, if it's due, it's due. And so you definitely want your best work put out there. But just added that comment in there. Let's see. For your strengths, for this observation, it was a hands-on activity, definitely a strength. I always love to see that in libraries. The students were engaged. You had helpful language with your students, encouraging use of multiple genres, and student independent reading time, which you also did in another observation, and I love that. For needs, it's not really a need, just a comment. I loved it most when you positively interacted directly with your students. When you discussed the students' nonfiction selections at the end of the observation, I liked see you smiling and connecting with their choices, and they were receptive also. Your countdowns to get them acting with urgency work really well, so keep that up. And then they said hi to me at the end of the video, so I put, hi, Malala
Yeah.
students. I hope Miss Lewis gives you at least 6 to 7 points for being good on the video. So there's a message
Yes.
to them. Um, so now that I've gone through all the feedback, do you have any comments, concerns, questions?
No. Um, I think at this point I feel like I'm leveling out now, making sure I'm staying on top of everything. Um, Getting used to the campus. The library is a little more structured now, and everything. So it feels good. I feel like there's been a shift and it feels nice.
Good. I'm glad
Yes.
to hear that. Next year will be even better. I mean,
Yeah.
every year might start a little bit wild and crazy getting all the routines. But I think each year you'll feel like sooner and
Yeah.
sooner in the year. Also, not having to juggle practicum and finishing school and stuff is going to be helpful too.
Yeah. No, but that was all. I did have a question about something else, but Do you want me to go ahead and stop the recording?
Well, one more thing, before we stop the recording. So I like to glance before a conference just to see if there's anything that's still due, and I looked through different items. So if there's anything you didn't earn full credit that you want to resubmit, you're allowed to do that. But also on the PD project, I just sent an announcement
Mm.
after I saw what you'd already turned in, and I thought, okay, let me address this with everyone before more and more of them start coming in. You've got a great, yours is turned in already, right? Okay, I was
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
I was quadruple checking. Wait a minute. Yes, this is my mental note. Um, I loved the colorful flyer and it was like with music, loved it.
Uh-huh.
The agenda looked fine. Your plan for where to allocate money and everything looked fine. The only thing missing is the main piece, which is what a lot of the rubric is about. And it's like a presentation that you or the presenters would end up following to teach all of those things. So whatever the PD was about, you should have a presentation that would guide. You don't have to actually present it, of course, not to real people, not for fake, not on video, but just having a presentation with any notes that might guide someone if the slide doesn't already say it all. You can embed videos in it if you would like to, like from YouTube, from TED Talk, from Canva, from whatever. That's okay with me. It's just so if you were like, oh, I'm gonna teach this PD next spring, you would have it ready.
Okay. Gotcha.
And it was so the wording on it kind of left, I think, that to question, like, oh, these are the items I need to turn into the discussion board. These are the items I need for the grade book. And so it wasn't specifically like turn in a presentation. It was kind of more implied. And I was like, I need to be more straightforward with that. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah, no problem. So just turn that in once you get it done. But the other items looked good and were very engaging and nice.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Thank you. It
Yeah.
was my question was actually about the logs. Are we allowed to turn those in early or do we have to wait until the specific day that they're due?
No, you can turn them in early. Let me give you feedback on one more. There's a week 12 check-in coming up. And then once
Huh?
you read my feedback on that, then if everything looked good, you can go ahead and turn in your official one.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I can turn in the one that's due on Monday, but then wait because the final one's due on the first. So don't turn in the one due on the first until after I get your feedback. Am I understanding? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that way I'm not having to give you feedback on both. You're having to redo. So just let
Gotcha.
me give you week 12 feedback. And then if you've already obtained all the hours that you need,
Okay.
then yeah, you can go ahead and sign it yourself, get your mentor to sign it. I would be the last signature on that final log.
Okay. And that's the same for the other assignments. Like there's a reflection summary and the words of wisdom that are due on the first. Could I turn those in or do I need to wait? Okay. I just wanted to make
No,
sure I wasn't.
go ahead. And if you
Okay.
turn them in early and I give you any feedback where you wanted to revise something, that's perfect. Yep.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, I
Okay.
think
Okay, then one last thing in this, our last Zoom possibly, make sure that you create a Word document. It'll say observation 1, observation 2, observation 3. For each of the observations, it'll say that your pre-conference was turned into Canvas. It's just what you had already turned in that assignment, and you can just write those words simply. And then your observation video link, and then your post-conference video, this Zoom, that link. So it should have
okay.
three items bulleted out for each observation, but the first item just says we did our pre-conference just through the document you turned in Canvas.
Okay.
Does that make
And they're
sense?
all on one document, correct?
Yes, please.
Okay.
It should really be a document that essentially has 6 links on it, 2 for each of the observations, one which is actually your observation video, one that is this Zoom meeting.
Okay, gotcha.
Perfect. And then the last thing is, I'm just making sure to touch on this with everyone during our third post conference, making sure that you found the Microsoft Sway app free on your U of H Clear Lake single sign on. It's the same place, which I can't remember if it was you I emailed today, where you have free access to Microsoft Word through your single sign ons. I think it was because your computer was messed up and you.
Yeah, oh my goodness, it drove me crazy. So I was trying to use the OneDrive in my work account, and I
Oh,
don't know what was, I don't know if it was the computer that was glitching or if it was that, I don't know. But I got a new computer now. So
okay.
um and you said Sway is already inside of that.
So if you go to that single sign-on, like where you can click Canvas, you can click Outlook, go to Microsoft 365. Is that what it says? Microsoft Office?
Yes, Microsoft Office
Okay, click
365.
click that. And then at the top, there are like, maybe it's like 4 little window dot things. So you can see all the apps.
Or a little window done.
I'm like, I can do it at the same time and double check what I'm saying. Microsoft Office. Let me move this. Mine is thinking. It wants me to sign in. Yes, so if you have a work and the U of H Clear Lake, sometimes they fight when you're trying to sign into Microsoft.
Okay.
Mine does. Okay, let me see. Nope, it's not 3 little window dots for me either. It's probably not for you. Pages, search.
Is there a thing that says, at least it says M365 Copilot?
Yeah, let's try it. No, mine didn't do anything when I did that. Create. Let's do create, and then maybe it shows us the apps. This is different
Um,
from the last time I tried to help someone, so let me see. Um, why? Pages? No, that didn't help. Hey, if you figured out, let me know. Pages,
and
no.
we're looking for an app called Sway, right?
Yes, it's like there's Microsoft Word, Excel, and Sway is another one. I'm just gonna type Sway and see what happens here.
I found it.
Oh, good. Tell me where, so in case someone else has a problem, I
I
can talk
went
about.
to apps and
Yeah.
then I scrolled and it said all apps and then Sway.
Okay,
And it
but you
took
were
me,
in Microsoft
yes.
365, okay. And then on your screen on a computer, it said apps and all apps.
Uh-huh. And
Okay.
then I could click Sway.
Okay, so you'll want to start exploring Sway because that's what your final project. It's about collecting all of your best practices, pictures, all any PowerPoints that you made throughout the program. It's just like to highlight all of your greatness through the your master's program.
Okay. Okay, nice.
Okay. And it really like you once you figure out Sway, you're gonna see it's like a digital portfolio. And then you can just start popping things in and then you can decide how you want to organize it. Like if all of this was about I don't know, book reviews or I don't know, however you want to organize it is totally fine. And then any pictures you've taken this year as a librarian of record, that would be great in there too. And then
Okay.
you spruce it up and personalize it however you like because they have templates and stuff. It's just like a kind of like they have PowerPoint with templates. Sway also has portfolio templates.
Okay.
Okay. So, any other questions?
Um, no, I
Okay.
think we are okay. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
yes, ma'am. Please reach out if you do think of something as you're finishing things up.
Thank
Okay.
you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, have a good night.
Bye, you too.
Bye.